Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
Hello and welcome to Couple of Flicks. I'm Tristan.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Zach.
All right. So we are discussing, or we are going to attempt to discuss every film on the bottom 100 IMDB list. Yeah, it's a challenging process, but it is one that I think we can all agree we are learning a lot from, or at least I think we are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're learning about how to not make a movie, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And we're exploring the intricacies of that. So,
Yes.
because there has to be a reason why all these films are on this bottom 100 list. I mean, let's just be real here, So.
Yeah, so far they all deserve to be there that we've gone through.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
only scratched the surface.
I know. I'm curious as to how much worse it could get, So,
Yeah, it's pretty bad already.
yeah. But having said that, we are going to do next Holmes Watson.
Yes, Holmes and Watson. And this, of course, we have a list from IMDb, and it's always changing. So this is from, I don't know, weeks ago is what we solidified on.
We'll just say October 2020 is the definitive list.
Yeah, we're going by October, like the list October. So I think there is a new one on the list right now that you mentioned earlier, and then we talked about earlier that it's like it gets to a point where like so many films get added to the list that it's like hard to keep track of. So we're going by October 2020 list of bottom 100, because that's our definitive list.
Yes, the only one that matters.
Yes, exactly. November don't mean nothing. No, kidding, of course. But all right, cool. So Holmes and Watson is the film that we are going to discuss on this episode. So how shall we begin this process, Mr. Holmes?
Okay. Well, I mean, as you can tell, this was a Halloween costume. I am somewhat of a fan, not like a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, but I appreciate it, and I enjoyed the BBC version with Benedict Cumberbatch quite a bit. That's what got me interested in Sherlock Holmes. So I this movie was actually on my radar as it was being developed, because I also I enjoyed Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. I thought those were two good Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly buddy comedies. So I was hopeful, but had no my expectations were real low, because the more recent stuff they did was trash. And and I'm honestly not even that big a fan of Will Ferrell. I do like John C. Reilly a lot, but and then the trailer came out, and I was like disappointed immediately. I was like, oh, this is gonna be crap right when the trailer dropped. So I just wrote it off anyway until I was like, I wanted to see it when they announced it, but after the trailer, I just decided to never watch it until we started doing this.
Yeah, and I've done the same thing with many, many movies. Movies that I've been eager to see, but then I see the trailer and it's like, that didn't look. No thanks. That's kind of how I feel about the Hillbilly Elegy movie that came out recently with Glenn Close. I was actually interested in seeing that one until I saw the trailer or saw like a clip of it or something, and I'm like, ugh, no, that's. No thanks. Like it sometimes that just happens. Sometimes a trailer really can kill an interest in the movie. So I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly because they always show the best parts in the trailer, and the best parts are usually not even that good. So it's like, oh crud.
Right.
That's like the Jack and Jill syndrome, basically. Like everybody knew that was going to be a terrible movie based on the trailer, because the trailer was like arguably one of the worst trailers ever.
I mean, based on the, I don't know, whatever, the whole idea of it seemed like shit.
Exactly. And luckily, we're gonna watch Jack and Jill because it's on this bottom 100 list.
Yeah,
It sure is.
I didn't ever plan on watching that, but
Yeah, I didn't either.
Well, I hope you're looking forward to that because I am. Anyway, so go on. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess it starts off with like a little bit of Holmes as a kid. He was made fun of, picked on, whatever, yada yada. He was
Yeah, and an opening scene that was really depressing, actually, not really very funny.
yeah. He made fun of. I guess there was I don't know, one thing that I think this must have been in that when he was a kid. He pointed at a turtle and he was like, "What kind of stupid dog is that?" Very.
That was funny. Yeah.
That was a very Will Ferrell joke.
Yeah.
And the main bully scene was, I guess they got him to kiss a donkey's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, tricked him into that by the girl he had a crush on. They blindfolded him and he kissed the donkey's ass.
Yeah. And I feel like I've seen that joke in another movie. Like,
yeah, it's
didn't
not
that
that
happen
original.
Yeah, I feel like that was in like some stupid that movie, like what, Mafia or whatever it was called, like with Jay Moore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? Like, didn't that movie have like the exact same joke in it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm glad that movie isn't on this list because I don't think I'm that one again. But I'm glad you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So after he kissed the donkey's ass is, what turned him into that, the emotionless robot type character we all expect Holmes to be. And he snitched on all the other kids and like was like, "You got mud on your boots. You something. You like all Sherlock Holmesy, deducing little things."
Oh.
He basically snitched on everyone and got him expelled.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that showed us the little preview into his childhood, or look into his childhood at least.
Yeah, it's like, uh-oh.
Yep, and and then just years later, it shows Sherlock already being the detective he is, the good detective, well-renowned detective with John C. Reilly as Watson being his sidekick. There was, I mean, it does like that same, like, I guess like Talladega Nights kind of story arc of Sherlock Holmes being the badass and John C. Reilly kind of trying to live up to Holmes, or prove himself to everyone else that he's just as good as Holmes. It had that same arc.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that original at all.
No, not really.
It was like, yeah. There was one funny scene. Not really funny, but something so stupid. The cliche-ish of they had a hat trial montage. They're like, no.
Yeah, I mean, like little moments like that. Like it was sort of it was a little bit more. The thing is, like, I honestly, like, I'm not crazy about Will Ferrell either. I like his dramatic movies, and I like some of his comedies. Like, I didn't mind Elf.
Yeah,
I think
Elf
mainly
is good.
because
Elf is of course a classic. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one, and actually, I don't I think I remember enjoying Talladega Nights, if memory serves. The thing I remember I didn't enjoy about it was when I saw it in the theater, like before the movie started playing. There was a 20-minute advertisement for the military before the movie, which, I love the military. I have nothing against the military, but it was just sort of like strange that like that played before like a comedy. I was just sort of surprised by that, and I think that sort of like, I don't know, that I think that affected my experience of it. So I might have to give that one another rewatch. But I remember enjoying Talladega Nights. I just don't
Yeah,
remember
I
if I
liked it.
like, yeah. But Step Brothers, I gotta admit, I found that was a little too intense for me, I think. I didn't really enjoy that one. I actually found it kind of creepy. There's just
No,
something a
really.
little, yeah, there was just something a little too perverse about it for me. And I don't exactly know how to describe it, but there was just something about it that made me just profoundly uncomfortable. And I just couldn't really find it very funny for some reason. I found it just more like depressing and weird,
Oh,
which,
yeah. I
yeah.
can
And I
see
don't
that.
know why I feel that way. I think I might have seen it at sort of a rotten time in my life. So maybe that had a lot to do with it. But
I mean,
anyway,
it makes sense. It could be. I mean, it could be like the parents were like enabling man-child behavior and everything like
yeah,
that.
and I think that's something that I've like seen happen in my own life, and it's always something that really bums me out to see. And like, so maybe like that I related, like maybe there was just something about it that hit a little too close to home, perhaps, or I don't know. There's just something about it I didn't like, and I don't know why. Sometimes certain comedies just don't work for me, and Step Brothers I think might have been one of them. Although, like I said, maybe if I rewatched it, like, and if I were in the right mood, I'd enjoy it. Who knows? But as far as Will Ferrell movies go, like the main thing I kind of just don't really enjoy about his movies is how like a lot of his comedy tends to rely on just him being like really loud and really
Yes,
sort of like,
yelling and shit.
yeah, and
That's what.
like
Yeah.
aggressive and stuff.
Yep, I wrote that down. It was just
Yeah.
like yelling jokes and shit like that, and running around yelling.
Yeah, and yeah, pretty much. And like the thing about this movie, Holmes and Watson, which I actually appreciated, was there was still some yelling and screaming, but there was a lot less of it in this movie. So
Yeah, yeah.
I do give it a little bit of credit for like being a little bit quiet, like a quieter Will Ferrell comedy. Still didn't really find it that funny though, I gotta admit. Like,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
No. There was
So
like a courtroom, like I don't know if you want to read the Wikipedia or anything. I'm trying to do it off memory. I know there was
yeah.
I forget what the whole point was, but I know that like Holmes doesn't think that he thinks that I don't fucking remember Moriarty's dead
I
or something, and
yeah.
the
And then
new Moriarty's a copycat, but it actually isn't, and everyone's like, no, he's right there, or something like that. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
and yeah, it was just show, uh, Holmes's ego trumping over any logic, because everyone was saying
Yeah.
no. Moriarty is right over there. Like, what are you talking
Yeah.
about? It's not a copycat. They basically
And
had
then
factual evidence that it was Moriarty, and Holmes was like, no.
yeah. And then at one point he turns against Watson, which
Of
was like
course, cliche as well. Was
I
waiting for it
I
to
just
happen.
I mean I was disappointed when it happened because I thought it would have been funnier if they hadn't continued to constantly introduce conflict. Like I think that's my main problem with this movie was it just felt like a lot of chaos.
Yep.
It didn't really feel like a comedy to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was trying to be a comedy. I felt that, but it wasn't funny.
I guess so. I think I guess the humor just never didn't really. I don't know. It just didn't resonate, and I
Nope.
guess it doesn't resonate with most people because it's on this bottom 100 list. So,
Yeah, no, they.
Yeah, that style of comedy with Holmes and Watson kind of plot doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, not in a comedy. Just, and I don't know. I feel like when they were making this movie, they sort of realized it didn't work, and so they kind of just winged it and moved on. Like, it didn't feel like they put a lot of energy or effort into it. Like, it just kind of felt overall like sort of unrefined.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it was like mostly fairly straightforward. I don't know, just some murder mystery type
Yeah,
shit
pretty much.
having to do with the queen,
Yeah.
royalty, or whatever.
There's that scene where they think that they killed her or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Uh,
they kind of ended up going in a riskless direction, like, because like, if you know, a more severe comedy would have had like crazier stuff happen. Like maybe they would have accidentally lit her fire, or like that's ridiculous, you know, like, because like I've seen comedies where like people get like literally dismembered, and it's just like, oh my god, like seriously. Sometimes it happens in like 80s movies and stuff. So,
mhm. Let's see. So there was. I'll go over some little tidbits, I guess. Let's see. There was.
yeah,
I liked the drunk Morse code scene. It was like a drunk texting scene,
yeah,
but
that
they
was
had Morse
funny.
code back then, and yeah, that was a little. Um, what was it? Oh, and then like they would do those Sherlock like math in his head things. He would like do
Yeah,
little math in his head. There was one where it was him like drunk trying to piss into the urinal doing the math in his head.
yeah. I mean, I appreciate the ingenuity. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't mind the first time they did it, but because
yeah,
it's only from like I think the BBC version that they do that kind
yeah,
of breakdown, so they did it a little too much for just having an homage to
yeah,
one of them.
yeah. I agree. Like, this just wasn't really. Like, it kind of
Oh
do it
yeah,
again.
because
There were a lot of repetitive jokes. So.
yeah, they did it with like a killer mosquito that got loose, and he had like a club
Oh yeah,
that was supposed to like the tip hit it perfectly. Like I think it was just like off
yeah,
Watson's face, and instead he just smashed him in
yeah,
the face with it. I don't exactly remember, but yeah, something like that.
yeah, yeah. And there was a fight
Oh no!
scene. Oh,
It breaks open a beehive of
Oh
oh
yeah.
killer
yeah. Okay, that
bees,
was it. Yeah,
and then they just start shooting at the bees and shit.
yeah, yeah. It was, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
But
there was
anyway,
a fight scene like
oh yeah, the fight scene.
in the ring with that was like I'm thinking it's supposed to be like the what's his face, Robert Downey Jr. take on the Holmes
Yeah,
as well, because they
I
have
think
that.
so.
So
Yeah,
throwing little nods to various Holmes interpretations.
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, I thought that it was interesting. I mean, when they did that in the Sherlock Holmes movie, like, I mean, I appreciated it because it was sort of like them trying to have it be more about like him and less about like the mystery aspect of it, you know, and all that stuff. So, and also it was like Guy Ritchie, who at that time was still like kind of capable of making really stylish movies, and hadn't made like he hadn't basically sold his soul to Disney at that point. So,
Yeah, I'm
um,
so disappointed. I'm
yeah,
so
I
sad.
know.
I liked Guy
It's
Ritchie a lot.
I know it's weird. I can't believe he directed the new Aladdin. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and actually, one of his movies is on this list.
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming up too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that one too.
Yeah. Um. But okay, so yeah, overall, or Holmes and Watson. So, all right, how did it end? Wasn't there like a twist or something?
Um, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't either.
Kind of just ended really fast. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. The plot was sort of by the numbers. Jokes weren't that funny.
Yeah.
A couple of them were clever, but overall, I was watching this movie and I just kind of was like, I was more just kind of into the idea of it, than I was the actual movie. Like, I was kind of
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie, I was sort of thinking more about the stuff that they could have done with it, and then
Exactly.
just
That's
didn't.
exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, because
Yeah. Like, it just kind of was the type of movie where like they just played it safe in every direction. The comedy wasn't particularly risky, at least not for like a Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movie.
Nope.
They
Wasn't
didn't
really
really do
funny either.
anything. What was that?
Said it wasn't really funny either.
Not at all.
I
Really.
think
No.
I laughed like once,
Yep.
and that
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
when John C. Reilly ran into the courtroom in the beginning and just started shooting everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, you wrote that down.
That was
Shooting
funny.
court, just-
That was one of the parts I did laugh
Yeah,
at. Yeah.
the only time I legit laughed.
No, that was good.
and
But other than
yeah,
that and a few
there
other
was a
things, yeah.
selfie stick scene.
Yeah.
A selfie stick. One of those really old-fashioned fucking
Yeah.
things. Trying to get a
Which I
selfie with
forgot
him.
about.
I didn't laugh.
Forgot
That
all
gave
about
me a
them.
slight smile.
That was like the one
Kind of
joke
dated the movie.
the one joke they used in the trailers so much. It was like, oh, come on, really?
Oh, really? Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about that. There was a very Will
Horrible.
Ferrell line, like when they were in a fight of some sort. He was just like, "Club him like a baby seal," in a very Will Ferrell delivery.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, that was like the one time where he kind of broke character a little bit, which like I expected that to happen, but
I expected it to happen a lot more. So good for them
yeah,
for not happening as much as it did. Yeah.
yeah. I'm glad that it didn't. I'm glad that they didn't do that because that would have irritated the piss out of me. So, they didn't do much with the time period or anything like. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think they're if they'd actually like maybe gone raunchy with it, or maybe had gone like in a little bit like maybe in a sort of more, I guess maybe like not like so like simple kind of like physical comedy or situational humor, like episodicness, like which is what so many like cheesy comedies are like
Yeah.
these days. If they hadn't gone in that direction, like they could have done something. And I actually do think they will be capable of doing good comedy when it's like the right type of movie. And John C. Reilly, whether he's like in a comedy or a drama, he's going to give you something that's very John C. Reilly. So you can usually count on him to do that. But beyond that, though, like this movie was kind of just a giant missed opportunity. It's disappointing. It's always disappointing when Hollywood takes no chances, but it's what we expect.
Yeah, especially when they have a good idea like this. It would
Yeah, they just end up botching it and making it into something that's just kind of like you don't even remember it. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
yeah, yeah. What do you have any thoughts about it, Zach?
It's like cut and dry comedy, but I don't know. I can't remember half of it. Like it's just dad. Like
Yeah.
even reading the synopsis here on Wikipedia, I'm like, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Yep. I was trying to go through it too, and I was like, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah. And people keep talking about like dad jokes, and this is like a dad movie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because the jokes in it are just so dumb. It's just like, oh, I get it. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. Thanks for that one.
yeah,
That's basically the type of movie this was. It's like the humor is basically just. It's like you're laughing at the movie, but not because it's funny, but because it's just so dumb that you just don't know how else to react.
yeah.
It's basically just a giant waste of time. Even for people who like Will Ferrell movies, I mean, he doesn't really do much that's really all that Will Ferrell like. He even that's kind of a missed opportunity. Like, because if there's any movie that could maybe like use a little bit more like emotion, because this was like when you say cut and dry, like that means multiple things. This is a dry, ultimately.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately.
very, very, very few gags work.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, I don't know. Does it deserve to be on the bottom 100? I don't even think
Yes,
it's good
for
enough.
sure.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I would say it sucks. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, don't watch it because it's just dumb.
Yeah.
It's not even worth.
Yeah. Even if you're a Will Ferrell fan, skip this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
It's not the worst Will Ferrell movie I've ever seen, but it does suck. And yeah, I wouldn't even recommend. If honestly, like even think if I like 5 years from now, if I thought about Will Ferrell movies, I probably wouldn't even remember this one. So
Yep.
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, that's about all we have to say about that one. It sounds like.
Yeah, Holmes and Watson. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 1. We're gonna rate him.
Yeah, I would give it about a 1. I think there wasn't really anything. I contemplated a 2 because I definitely have seen worse Will Ferrell movies, but I'm like, I don't know. I still hated it, so 1.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 1 as well.
Yeah, missed opportunity. So
Yeah.
all right, and we shall see you on the next episode of the bottom 100 IMDb list.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you then.
All right.